Hello, welcome to the Essex Sport Facebook page, and my name is Arlene. I'm going to deliver a fitness Pilates session for you today. It should be 30 minutes in length approximately. Before you begin, just make sure you've got enough space to move around. It's helpful if you have something non-slip like a yoga or Pilates mat, and often without your shoes is practice, but do what feels right for you. It's also handy if you have a little drink of water nearby, just in case you get thirsty, and to stay hydrated for the session. It should be quite nice and relaxing, but just make sure you've got anything handy. You're welcome to have cushions as well if you'd like to rest your head on when we do any laying down positions. Okay, great. So to start our fitness Pilates session, if you just place your feet next to each other and bring your heels really close to each other, and we'll just kind of rock forwards and backwards and just notice how the weight feels. And just check in with how your feet feel today. Maybe you've been standing a lot, or if you went out for a walk, just notice how that might feel in your body. And we'll just kind of come to a stillness, and to find a hip width stance. If you transfer the weight back to your heels and lift the balls of your feet off the ground, turn your toes out to the side, transfer the weight onto the balls of your feet, lift your heels, and just slowly start to bring your heels out to the side. So the sides of your feet are kind of parallel with the sides of the mat, and you can see how that brings you into about a nice hip width stance. Okay, great. So now just start to notice your breath, and we'll do a little tilting of our hips. So if you make a little diamond shaped here with your thumbs touching, your index fingers touching, and just place your thumbs just below your navel. So you might have the base of your hands or parts of your hands on your hip bones here. And we'll just start to do a little pelvic tilt. So I'll just do a little side view so you can see that, but just start to rock forwards and backwards so you can feel this diamond shape start to move. So you can feel the index fingers come forward and then gently rock back. And just notice how you move your hips and how that might feel on your lower back. Maybe there's a little sensation. Good. And now we're going to come to find our neutral pelvis. So if you think about that diamond shape as if it were a pane of glass, and you just want to make that upright, so your index finger and thumb would align. If you were to have a pencil, it would be upright, or the pane of glass wouldn't be forward or backward. With this diamond shape you've created, just upright. Good. And on keeping your hands here, imagine if you were laying down and something heavy were start to drop towards you, and you would brace your abdominal muscles inward, anticipating its fall, but someone catches it in time, so you don't have to worry about it hitting you. But just see if you can maintain a little engagement, about 30% of your abdominal muscles, and just start to notice how that might feel. That might encourage then the breath to feel an expansion in your rib cage. So you might keep one hand here on your lower belly, engaged about 30%, but start to feel now your breath, or lateral breathing begin to arise. So this is a nice Pilates breath that helps to support the lower back. Good, so you might maintain this engagement of your abs about 30% throughout the session, but just see what feels right for you. You can check in with that, or not worry about it if it feels a bit cumbersome to think about, and just focus on the movements if that's preferable. Good. So just come to notice your breath, engaging of your abs, and then slowly bring your chin towards your chest. You can place your hands on your rib cage as an option. You might place them on your hips. But just very slowly now start to create a little semicircle, just rotating your neck. Your ear comes towards your shoulder on one side, then the other. And if you prefer, you can relax your arms down. Good, and just check in with how that feels. Do you feel any tension at all? Does it feel nice in one part? So stay with this if that feels comfortable. And if you'd like to, you can start to make a little circle and just come to work at your own level. So notice and check in with how the movement feels in your body. Do you prefer to stay with that little semicircle, or you can start to make a big circle fully with your neck, and then go in the other direction as well? And how does that feel? Where do you notice the weight in your feet? And you start to notice any release in your shoulders or your neck. Good. So the next one, when your chin is towards your chest in the center, just very slowly start to lift your head upright. Good. And then we'll come to do some shoulder shrugs. So if you lift your shoulders up to your ears and roll them down your back. Good. We'll do 3 more shoulder shrugs here. And if you'd like, you can even bring your elbows into this when you lift your shoulders up towards your ears. You can lift your elbows as well. Good. And then we'll go in the other directions. So just rotating forward. And again, you can just do your shoulders, or you might lift your elbows as well to increase that range of motion. Good. Now we're going to imagine like you're swimming just with your shoulders, so you can start to alternate one shoulder rolling up to your ear and then back, and then go in the other direction, coming forward. And which one felt nicer, which one's more comfortable? So just choose. You can go in either direction now, alternating forward or backwards. Just take a few moments there. Good, lovely. And when you're ready, you can just come back to a stillness in the center, shake out your arms, and just check in with how that part of your body feels, your neck, your shoulders. Do you notice any changes or differences? Good. So if you lift your right heel off the floor and just rotate your ankle inward 3 times. Good. And we'll go outward 3 times as well. And then when you come to the center, just notice, does that feel differently now? Right foot to left foot, maybe a different connection to the ground. And we'll do the other side. So lifting your left heel, rotate your ankle outwards 3 times and inwards 3 times. Good. And then back to the center. Lovely. And just checking in, maybe you're maintaining that engagement of your abs, that nice neutral pelvis. Good. That pane of glass upright, and you might start to feel that lateral breath. Just check in if you'd like to maintain that throughout. Good. So we're going to do a little movement with side bends. Good. So just coming to stand in your neutral position, feet hip width apart, shoulders over your hips, and just start to take a little side bend over to the right. And just place the palm of your hand on your thigh, and you might feel your fingers start to slide in the direction of your knee. Good. And just check in. So that would be 1 round, right side, left side. And just do that again. And just check in. Is your hand stopping at the same place on right side to left? Is it towards your knee, maybe middle of your thigh? That's the second round. And do you feel the range start to deepen perhaps as you mindfully just start to take a little side bend? And where do you feel that? Maybe you can feel a little movement in your spine. Maybe you feel that on the outside edge of your hip. Good, so we'll do 2 more rounds. And just stopping in the center, checking in. Good. And 1 more round each side. Little side bend here. Good. Last one here, and then coming back up. And just check in again. You're welcome to shake out your arms or give your feet a little shake. And just check in again, feet hip width, little engagement of your abs perhaps. Lateral breathing. Good. We're going to do a position called the Cossack next. So if you bend your elbows and place one forearm on top of the other, and just place the height of your forearms just below shoulder height, so it's a little bit low here. Good. Maybe we have that engagement. Inhale here. As you exhale, rotate towards the side, and you might think about keeping your hips facing forward. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the left. Good. So that's 1 round, and as you come to the next round, just switch so the opposite forearm is on top. Good. So exhaling right, exhaling left, and just do that at your own pace. You can go faster or slower to see what feels right for your breath. Good. And as you do this, you might add a little turn of your head to look over your shoulder, and approximately keeping your hips forward. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Good. And you can rest at any time if that begins to feel a little bit tiresome, or just feels like your body's worked to its maximum for this moment. So take a little break at any time. Give your muscles a little shake. Good. So we'll do 3 more rounds. And again, stop at any time when it feels right for you. Good. So that's 1 round. Good. That's 2. And here's our last one. Good. And that's 3. Lovely. Good. And just check in. Just take a notice of how your body feels, your back, your shoulders, any changes from the start. And does it feel like you're standing in alignment, shoulders over your hips? So we're going to do a little standing cat and cow position next. Good. So as you place your hands either side of your thighs, your palms are touching your thighs, inhale here and imagine you're lengthening the top of your head up. And as you exhale, slowly bring your chin to chest, and we'll roll down just halfway till your hands come towards your knees. When your hands come towards your knees, bend your knees, and think about your knees will start to track to the center of your feet. place your fingertips inwards towards the center of your thighs and your palms just resting on your thighs. And then staying here with your knees bent. Inhale, feel your belly come forward, and then you might look up. That's for cow. And as you exhale, start to draw your navel inward. You can round your lower back and look down at your navel. Good, so that's one round of cat and cow. We'll do that again at your own pace. Inhaling, belly forward, exhaling, rounding. I'm just going to do a little side view, but just continue inhaling. Feeling your chest start to open, and as you exhale, rounding lower back, navel engages, and you can start to relax your shoulders and the back of your neck. Good, so do 2 more rounds here in our cat and cow. Good, I'll just turn forward. Good, 1 more round. Good, lovely, and then gently uncurl, and we'll roll back up to standing. Good, and you can give everything a little shake. So next we'll practice a little movement to challenge our balance. So you're welcome to come near a wall or to stand close to a chair that's nice and heavy, so it won't move if you place your hands on it. Good, so just come again and check in. We can have that sort of hip width stance. Good, and then just start to shift the weight over to your right leg and bend your left knee. You can keep your hands by your side or place them on your hips. And then start to point your toe and just check in with how that feels. Maybe this is where you'd like to stop today. If you'd like to, you can start to lift your foot off the floor a few inches, hold, and then slowly lower down. Good, and then we'll do the other side. So weight shifts to your left. You might think about having a little upward lift of your spine. Lift your right heel off the floor, point your toe. Maybe that's where you'd like to stay. You can notice how that challenges your balance already, but you might add a little lift of your knee, maybe a maximum about hip height. Good. Hold for a moment and then lower down. Good, so we'll do that again at your own pace. So you can stop at any time, but as you start to lift your foot, just check in with how that feels. And you might imagine that there's a string lifting your knee straight up to the ceiling, and that creates a little alignment of knee straight with your ankle. Good, we'll do the other side when you're ready. You can transfer at your own pace. Good, and just check in. So as you progress through, maybe you start to keep your toes on the floor. You can hold longer one side than the other, or maybe just check in with how that feels. So you can rest at any time. Good. For this one, I think I did a bit faster for the hold. I might just check in. How does that feel to lift up that side sense of a string pulling my knee straight up? Good. So we'll do 2 more rounds each leg. Good. And just think about how you try to keep your hips sort of level there. If you were trying to balance something on your head, how would that feel? Okay, so your whole body just stays in stillness, and we're just isolating the movement just to that knee lift. Good. Maybe our toes lift away from the floor. Good. Okay. So we'll do 1 more round each side. Again, just work at your own pace. You can stop at any time. Good, last one here. Good, lovely. Okay, so if you come to check in with your hip width stance again. Good, and then bend your elbows so your palms are facing upwards and your elbows are just resting close to your rib cage or your body. So your elbows will stay there. Inhale and just feel the palms of your hands light. And then as you exhale, just slowly start to open your straight arms, your forearms out to the side. Good, so you might start to feel this rotation occur in your shoulders and a bit in the front of your chest. Good, so you can do that with your exhalation if you'd like to add a breathing pattern, but no pressure to do so. Good, so when your palms or your fingertips are forward, inhale, and as you exhale, just with that little rotation. Good, lovely. So we'll do 2 more at your own pace. Good, and last one. Lovely. Okay, then you can give everything a little shake. Good, and we'll come down to the floor to lay on our side. And when you lay on your side, you might place the palm of your hands on the floor and rest your ear on your arm. Good, so as you come to lay on one side, think about stacking your shoulders in a straight line. So your upper shoulders just above the one resting on the ground, the same with your hips. Good, and bend your knees, and as you do so, think about aligning your heels with your hips. Good, so just as far forward as that feels comfortable. And you can rest the hand, your upper arm, in front of you with your fingertips on the ground. Good, so just make yourself comfortable here. If this feels like you'd like a bit of support, you're welcome to find a little cushion or a pillow. You can roll up a towel or fold up a towel and rest your side of your head on it. Okay, so we're going to do a movement called the clamshell next. So think about keeping your feet together, like if they were glued together temporarily. Good, and inhale here, and as you exhale, start to open your upper knee towards the ceiling, just as much as feels comfortable, and then very slowly, like you're moving through honey, you start to bring your knees towards each other. Good, so just do that again at your own pace, and you might start to feel the movement initiate in this space on the side of your hip. Good, so just do that at your own pace. Rest at any time, and you might feel a little cracks and awakenings in your hip space. Good, but just trying to feel the rest of your body quite still and isolating that movement for our clamshell, so that space on the outside edge of your hip. So we'll do 3 more on this leg if that's comfortable, and you can rest at any time. Good. And here's an option too, again, to check in if you're engaging your abs. And good, so that's 3. Good. If you roll onto your back and bring your knees to your chest, and you can just hug your thighs towards your stomach and hold your shins. As an option, you can lift your forehead up towards your knees. Just see what it feels nice, just to help relax through the side of your body. Good, so the leg that you just worked, the leg that was up towards the ceiling, we're going to bring that towards the ceiling again. So slowly bring your knees away from the leg that you've just worked. So if that was your right leg that was on top and you're lifting your right knee up to the ceiling, just let your knees drift over to the left side just to help relax. Good. Lovely. And then gently come back to center. Good, and we'll do the other side. So you're welcome just to roll onto your side, but I'm going to turn so I can have a little view forward. Good. So we're going to rest again on our arm. Our ear relaxes onto our arm, palms facing down towards the ground, stacking shoulders, stacking hips, and just aligning our heel with our hip space. Good. And just imagine your feet are stuck together, your ankles. Inhale here, and as you exhale, start to lift your knee upwards. And it doesn't have to be a large lift, so that might be a small separation, but just do each movement with control. You're moving through honey. Good. And just check in with that engagement of your abs, perhaps, and maybe your rib cage starts to expand to the sides with your breath. And you might add a breathing pattern to this, moving as you exhale to lift your knee up away, and inhaling as your knees draw towards each other. Good, so rest at any time. We'll do 3 more on this side. Good. Last one. Lovely. So we'll do that same move we did to lay on our back. Just roll on your back, bring your knees to your chest, hold your shins. And for example, if your left knee was lifting up to the floor, you can open arms out to the side, but relax your knees the opposite direction of the leg you were working. So you might bring your knees over to the right. Good. And just stay there for a moment. You might anchor down through your shoulders as well. Good. So one more breath here. Lovely. Then we'll slowly come back up to bring our knees to the center. Good, so just check in here. You might think about that pelvic tilt we practiced standing up in the diamond shape you created, and just come to find kind of that neutral spine. So your hips are just in the center. Good, and then we'll start to lift our feet off the floor. So you're creating a right angle between your thighs and your shins. And just relax your hands either side of your hips. You might have your palms facing down here, but you can also have them out to the side a bit if that's more comfortable. So we're going to do a little toe tap, and it's a nice way to engage through the abdominal muscles. So as you do this, so you might use your exhalation to tap your toe down, and inhale as you bring your toe up again. If you feel, so just continue, I'm just going to show some options. So if you feel any tension on your lower back, you can again take a cushion or folded up towel and place it here underneath your hips or your tailbone. And you can do the same with your hands if you do feel any tension here. And you can also adjust how close your feet are or your thighs are towards your body. Good, so just check in, stop at any time. And also you can vary this movement by using a heel tap instead. So just check in if you'd like to flex your feet. You can do 5 rounds with a heel tap, or you might alternate toe tap and heel tap. Good. Just start to think about, where is this working? Where do you feel the movement? Perhaps you can feel that start to have a little sensation across your abdominal muscles. Good. Again, stop at any time. Good. We'll do 3 more rounds if you're comfortable. Good. And you can vary that at your own pace. Just thinking about keeping your feet about the width of your hips here. Good. And last one here. Lovely. So we'll bring our knees to our chest again. Just stay there, and you might start to rock a little bit side to side, or you can draw circles on the ceiling with your knees in reverse. Good. Lovely. So next we're going to roll onto our side and just gently push yourself up to all 4s on your hands and knees. Good. You might feel that a little bit in your lower back. So if you just set up in all 4s, your hands about the width of your shoulders and your knees about the width of your hips. And we'll come to child's pose next. So just very slowly bring your bottom to your heels. And you can stop here at any point, but you can continue to start to move your upper body towards the floor by bringing your forearms down. You can bring a little book or a cushion to rest your forehead on, or you can use 2 fists stacked, or a single one, or your forehead on the ground. So just checking with how that feels for you. And just relax there for a moment. Soften your bottom to your heels. If you want to make that sensation more dynamic on the sides of your body, you can walk your fingers to the front of the mat. Good, and as you relax there, just start to let go so you can feel your bottom soften towards your heels, and that helps to create a release through your lower back and the muscles in your side of your hips, as well as your bottom, your glutes. Good, last breath here. Good, and we'll slowly start to uncurl and come back up to all 4s on hands and knees. Good. So from here, just setting up, you're welcome to come up onto fists if you have any issues with your wrists, or you can roll up your mat as well. Fold up your mat or use a cushion. Okay, so just see which one's preferable. Okay, so for the next one, this is a kind of a bird dog. If you start to reach your right fingertips to the front of the mat, options to stay there, or you might lift your arm off the floor. Stop at any point in that range and then lower down. Good. We'll stay on the right arm for now, and then at the same time, if you'd like to make this deeper, you can reach your left leg behind you towards the back of the mat, lift up and lower down. Good. So stay on the right side for the time being. Good, but just try to keep a nice neutral spine so you can check in with how close your chin is to your chest. So you might imagine that there's something you're resting on the back of your head, so you can look down towards your hands on the ground. Good. One more round here on the right. Good, and come back to center. So same options, you can do just your left arm, you might add your right leg, so opposite arm and leg, lifting up and lowering down. And just do that at your own range. You might stop here with just toes and fingers coming to the edges of the mat, or you might add that lift. And lift as high as feels comfortable, listen to your body, but try to keep a nice neutral spine. So you can imagine that if you were reading a book, someone wanted to read a book and they rested it on your back, and you have your back nice and level. So there's very little movement there. Good. So we'll do 2 more on this side. Good. And last one. Good. So we're going to come back to right arm and left leg. But this time, turn your thumb up to the ceiling and then just lift up as high as feels comfortable. You might lift the leg as an option and just hold for a few breaths. Come down at any time. Good. And when you're ready, lower down and we'll transfer to the other side. So again, either just arm, just leg, or both. Lift as high as feels comfortable. I'm turning that thumb up towards the ceiling as an option. Good. Come down at any time. One more breath here. And then gently relax. Good, so we'll come back to practice child's pose. So from all 4s, slowly bring your bottom to your heels. You can walk your hands down to your forearms, support for your head. Good, and just rest there for a moment. Breathe into your lower back. You might walk your fingers to the front of your mat as well. Just start to let go through your lower back. Let gravity take over your shins. You might feel a little massage against the ground. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. And when you're ready, slowly uncurl. Good. And we'll come back to all fours on hands and knees. Good. So from here, if you reach your right arm out to the side, good. And then slowly start to lift your arms. You're rotating from your waist. You can stop at any point. At maximum, you might reach your fingers up to the ceiling. And just notice how that creates a little sense of stretch along your chest. Good. And then we'll slowly lower our hand and then start to slide your right fingertips between your left wrist and knee. So you might stay there. If you want to come into this deeper, you can bend your elbow and stop at any point. You can rest your head on a cushion. You might rest it on the floor if that's comfortable. So come into this as much as feels appropriate for you. If you want to come into it deeper, you can start to reach your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And you can even turn your head so you're looking up at your hands. And you can continue to open your arm out as far behind you as feels comfortable. Good. So just start to notice if that creates a little release through the side of your neck or your shoulder. Again, come into that as much as feels comfortable, the range that feels right. Good. One more breath here, and then when you're ready, slowly lower down. And we'll come back up to all fours on hands and knees, and just take a moment to notice how right side to left feels. Good, then we'll do the other side. So starting with your left arm out to the side, and a half T, rotate from your waist, stop at any point in that range, and then just start to notice if you'd like to look at your fingers with your eyes and feel how that sensation might create a release in your chest. Good, one more breath here. Then when you're ready, lower down and find that range again, sliding your left fingers between your right wrist and knee. Stop at any range, any point in that range. Same options, any support for your head, and where would you like to have your right arm? It can be at any point. You might keep it on the floor, or you can turn your head to look up at your fingers. Good. This is a nice one to kind of get into the side of your neck and your shoulder blades, particularly if you do any typing. Good. One more breath here. And we'll slowly lower down, come back up to all fours on your hands and knees. And then if you lay on your back with your knees bent. Good. And just check in with how your body feels in this moment. And we'll just set up for a bridge pose. So if you place your feet about the width of your hips, relax your hands down either side of your hips. Good, and just start to notice again that neutral spine. Inhale, feel your belly fill, and you might notice a little rounding of your lower back away from the floor. As you exhale, your navel draws inward, and almost like your tailbone tips upwards. So just do that again at your own pace. Stay with this if that's comfortable. Or on your next breath, you might exhale and tilt your hips up. Lift your hips as high as feels comfortable. Think about lengthening your knees over the center of your feet. And then slowly, when you're ready, slowly lower down. Okay, so stay with that if that's comfortable. So we might do the hip tilt, we might lift up to bridge and lower down. Or you can add some arms, tilt up to bridge. At the height, you can bring your arms up overhead. Lower your arms before relaxing each vertebrae down. Good, so continue with that as an option. I'll add one more challenge. So you can bring your arms up overhead, lift one foot off the floor, turn your knee out to the side, and rest your ankle on the opposite thigh. Good, bring your foot down, lower your arms before coming down. Good, and then do the same on the other side. So that's just as an option. Stay with the one that feels right for you. Good, so listen to your body, rest at any time. Good, and if it feels like you'd like to take a break, you can bring your knees to your chest. Good, so just come into the range that feels right for you. And you might do that with your breath, each movement corresponding. Exhaling up, inhaling down. When you lower each vertebrae down, you might really start to think about articulating or pressing your lower back into the mat. Good, and the same with the tilting of your hips. If you're taking that option, you might start to feel your lower back massage into the ground. Okay, so we'll do 2 more rounds here. I'll just do the legs evenly if you're taking the option to bring your knee out to the side. Good, and last one. Lovely. So then we'll bring our knees to your chest. After your back is fully in contact with the ground, bring your knees to your chest, hold your shins and just stay there. You can bring your forehead towards your knees as an option. Good. And as you relax, flex both feet, lengthen your heels away from you. Stay there if that's comfortable. You can support your thighs with your hands. And as an option, you can start to circle your ankles 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other. Good. Lovely. Bring your knees to your chest again, hold your shins, and when you're ready you can roll to one side, just gently rock up from here. So thank you for practicing fitness Pilates with me today. Feel free to check out the Essex Sport YouTube page for some recorded sessions, and you can also check out the schedule or other activities that are on offer through the website for Essex Sport. And lastly, if you have any questions, feel free to send a message over through the Facebook page for Essex Sport. All right, thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your day.